The next time your air conditioner kicks on, walk over to a vent and take a slow breath. If there is a faint, musty smell in that air, something like a damp towel left in the hamper too long, stop and pay attention. That smell is the first warning that your air conditioner has started leaking water where you cannot see it. There is no puddle yet and no stain on the ceiling, just that smell. And it is the cheapest moment you will ever get to stop it. Because here is the thing about your air conditioner. Every day it runs, it pulls gallons of water out of the air inside your house, and all of that water is supposed to go straight out to the yard. When something goes wrong, the machine does not quit. It keeps running and keeps making water, and that water finds your ceiling, your walls, your floors. The bill at the end is not for the air conditioner. It is for your house, and it can climb past $10,000. My name is Ray Dutton. 25 years I spent in this trade, and the worst water damage I ever walked into always started small and quiet, with a smell or a little drip, something the homeowner walked past for a month. So today we are going to walk your house, sign by sign, starting with the one you can catch tonight for $1. And that $20 part I keep mentioning, the one that stops most of this? On a flood call, almost nobody points at it. Stay with me, and I will show you where it goes. Sign number 1 is that musty smell, and because it comes first, it is the most valuable one on this list. Inside your house, wherever your indoor unit sits, in an attic, a closet, a basement, or the garage, there is a shallow pan that catches the water dripping off the cold coil. From that pan runs a little pipe, usually white plastic, that carries the water outside. That pipe stays dark, damp, and warm all summer, a perfect home for a slimy green algae. When that slime is just getting started, it has not blocked anything yet. But the water is already sitting longer than it should, and standing water grows mold and bacteria. The air blowing across it carries that smell into your rooms, so that smell is not your imagination, and it is not the vents. It is the first sign of a clog forming, weeks before it blocks the line. The good news is, right now you can stop it for about $1. Find the capped fitting on the drain line at your indoor unit and pour a cup of plain white vinegar down it. The vinegar kills the slime before it can build into a plug. Do that twice a season. You can also set a small tablet in the drain pan. They sell them for a few dollars, and it dissolves slowly and keeps the slime from coming back. And use plain vinegar for this, not bleach. Bleach can be hard on the pan and the fittings over time, so skip it and stick with the vinegar. Quick word before the next sign. Every fix in this video and the exact parts to ask for, I put into a book called The HVAC Survival Guide over at raydutton.com. It's there if you want it, no pressure. All right, back to it. Now, this next sign is the one folks blame on something expensive, when it almost never is. Sign number 2. Your air conditioner shuts off for no reason you can find, and when you walk to the thermostat, the screen is dead and blank. Your first thought is something electrical and expensive, a breaker or a bad board. Most of the time, it is neither. What happened is that the slime we just talked about finally did its work. It thickened inside that little pipe until it sealed the line shut. Now the water coming off the coil has nowhere to go, so it fills the pan. And if you have a small part called a float switch sitting in that pan, the moment the water rises too high, it cuts power to the whole system on purpose. Your air conditioner did not break. It shut itself off to keep from flooding your house. That dead thermostat is the safety doing its job. Here is how you clear it, and it runs about $1 again. Go outside and find the end of that little plastic pipe near the unit in the yard. Put a wet, dry shop vacuum over the end, seal around it with your hand or a rag, and run it for 30 seconds. That suction pulls the clog right out. Then flush the line with vinegar to clear whatever is left. Now here is that same job when you phone it in. $75 to $200 just for someone to pull in the driveway, then $150 to $300 to clear the line. All for a shop vacuum you own and a cup of vinegar. Sign number 3, and this is the one almost everybody reads backwards. On a hot afternoon, you notice water dripping from a little pipe that sticks out of the wall up high, usually right above a window. Most people figure it is just condensation and ignore it. It is the opposite of nothing. That pipe was built to warn you. Let me explain it in plain terms. A system plumbed right has two drains coming off that pan. The main one runs the water out the normal way, down low, where you never notice it. The second is an emergency drain, aimed on purpose to come out up high, over a window, right where you cannot miss it. That emergency drain does nothing at all, its whole life, unless the main drain is already blocked. So if you ever see water coming out over that window, read it plain. Your main line is clogged right now, and that little emergency pipe is the only thing left holding the water back from your ceiling. It is the last warning you get before the damage starts. The day you see it, go clear your main line the way I showed you in sign 2, because if that backup clogs too, the next place the water goes is straight down. And not every house has that second drain run to a window. If yours does, and you see it running, do not wait on it. Quick thing while we are partway through. If I am saving you a repair bill here, tapping subscribe is what keeps this channel going, and I do read the comments. All right, back to it. Sign number 4 is the one you never want to reach because it means the water already won. It is a brown ring or a soft, damp patch on the ceiling, and it shows up right under wherever that indoor unit sits. If your unit is up in the attic, the stain lands on the ceiling of the room below it. If it is in a closet or a basement, look at the wall or the floor close by. Two things get you here, and they are different problems. The first is the clog we have been tracking, with nothing to catch the water when the pan fills, so it runs over the side. The second is the pan itself. It spends 10 or 15 years going from ice cold to attic hot and back until a plastic pan cracks, or an old metal one rusts through from the bottom. Either way, the water leaves the pan and heads straight into your house. You clear the clog the way I already showed you, and a cracked pan gets swapped out by a tech. But the one part that protects you from both of them at once, for about $20, is the float switch. It does not unclog anything, and it does not patch a pan. What it does is shut the whole system down the moment the water rises too high, whichever problem caused it. It is a backstop, not a repair, and it is the one thing standing between either failure and your drywall. Here is the catch. A lot of units, especially older ones, never got one. If yours does not have it, that is the best $20 you will ever put into your air conditioner, and if it does have one, make sure it still works. Wiring one in means splicing into the low voltage on your system, so it is not a weekend job for most folks. Call a good tech and tell them to put a float switch on it. And look at what sits on the other side of that $20. A stain you catch early is a couple $100. Let it reach the framing, the wood that holds your house up, and you are past $10,000. Sign number 5 is different from the first 4, and it is the one you will almost never catch on your own. Everything up to now has been about the drain. This one is a completely separate way your air conditioner floods a house, and it hides better than any of them. Go outside to that unit in the yard and look at the two copper pipes running into it. The larger one is wrapped in black foam. Really look at that foam. Is it cracked? Crumbling? Falling off in chunks with bare copper showing through? Here is why that matters. That big line carries refrigerant that is genuinely cold, and the only thing keeping the warm, wet air off it is that foam. The sun destroys foam over a few years. It turns brittle and it falls apart. And the moment that copper is bare, it does the exact thing a cold glass of tea does on a summer porch. It sweats. Water beads up along the whole pipe, and it drips. Now follow that pipe to where it runs into your house. If the foam is gone on the stretch inside your wall, that cold copper is sweating inside the wall cavity where no one will ever see it. It drips down the studs, day after day, for years. This is a flood with no puddle and no stain to warn you. Just slow rot and mold building behind the drywall until the day it finally breaks through. And by then it is a wall to open up, not a towel to wipe. The fix is a few dollars and about 20 minutes, and this one you can do yourself. Buy pre-slit foam sleeves at any hardware store, the kind you peel and press right around the pipe. Pull the old rotten foam off, wrap the new foam on, and seal the seam with tape rated for the sun. Where the pipe goes into the house, run a bead of caulk to close the gap. One rule, and it matters. Only ever wrap the pipe. Do not touch the copper fittings, and do not open that line yourself. Anything to do with the refrigerant inside is work for a real tech, not a homeowner. Let me put the whole thing together in dollars because nobody lays it out for you straight. Catch these early, at the smell or the first drip, and you are out $1 of vinegar and maybe 20 for a switch. Miss them, and it climbs fast. Water sitting in a dark wall grows mold in 24 to 48 hours, and once it is mold, add 1,500 to 5,000 to clean it out safely. Then you file it on your homeowner insurance, sure that it is covered, and a whole lot of folks learn too late that a slow leak you were supposed to maintain gets called neglect and the claim gets turned down. So the sealing, the mold, and the argument with the insurance company all trace back to a cup of vinegar and a $20 part nobody told you about. So here is your whole plan, and it takes about 5 minutes twice a year. Pour a cup of white vinegar down that capped fitting on the drain line every couple of months through the cooling season, and set a pan tablet in while you are there. Once a year in spring, check the foam on that big copper line out at the yard unit before the summer heat is on it. Now, what you can handle yourself and what you hand to a good pro. The vinegar flush and wrapping that line foam, those two are yours, and you can do both this weekend for under $20. But wiring in a float switch, replacing a cracked or rusted pan, and anything to do with refrigerant, those all go to a real tech. And do not let anybody talk you into a whole new system over a clogged drain and a dry rotted piece of foam. When they come out, say one thing to them. Put a float switch on it and show me where my emergency drain comes out. A good one will respect that you asked because it tells them you already know the real story here is the water, not the box in the closet. So there are your 5. The smell, the shutoff, the drip over the window, the stain, and the sweating line. Go walk your own house this week and look for them, because not one of them costs much today, and every one of them costs thousands if you wait. Watch the water, and your ceiling will outlast your air conditioner. I'm Ray Dutton. Keep you cool, and I'll see you in the next one.